As the situation in West Asia continues to turn increasingly volatile and the tensions shoot up, Donald Trump has issued yet another warning, saying the United States will hit Iran very hard tonight. And as West Asia remains on edge increasingly, 3 Indian sailors who were initially reported missing have died after a vessel was attacked by the U.S. forces near the coast of Oman. In fact, India launched a strong protest with the American side. As of now, the West Asia Burma crisis is showing no signs of easing, with each day bringing fresh uncertainty, along with mounting questions and concern over where things are really headed for the region. And as of now, there are no definitive answers, and that's the issue, leaving the entire region dangerously close to further escalation. A day after the U.S. forces attacked the tanker in which 3 Indian seafarers were killed, another vessel with Indian crew members has come under attack in the Gulf of Oman. The U.S. Central Command says it attacked and disabled the vessel which came under attack off the port of Oman. In fact, CENTCOM saying it attacked it for allegedly violating the U.S. blockade of Iranian ports. The Indian government has confirmed that the 3 Indian sailors who went missing after the attack on that vessel earlier have been killed. While efforts concerning the remaining victims continues, 24 Indian crew members were on board the vessel, remember. 21 of them have been rescued. In fact, Rajesh Sharma, the father of the 23-year-old deck cadet, Aditya Sharma, who was killed in the missile attack, spoke to WION in that emotional interview to WION's Siddhant Sibal. He criticized the U.S. action. He also requested the Indian government to get back the body of his son as soon as possible. In fact, in a statement, India's Ministry of External Affairs has termed the attacks deeply worrisome and has linked them to the West Asia conflict. The ministry has also asked for the immediate de-escalation of the tensions. Meanwhile, as those tensions shoot up, issuing a fresh warning to Iran, Trump not holding back, saying the U.S. will hit Iran very hard tonight and will soon take control of the country's oil and gas infrastructure and markets. This is what Trump posted on Truth Social. I'm quoting, "At some point in the not too distant future, we will be taking Karg Island and other oil infrastructure points and assume total control of their oil and gas markets, much like we have with Venezuela," quote unquote. In fact, earlier in the day, the IRGC released footage purportedly showing missiles being launched at the U.S. bases in West Asia. Iran has attacked U.S. assets across the Gulf, remember, in response to another round of those U.S. attacks. The U.S. and Iran, in fact, have exchanged strikes across the region for that second consecutive day. The U.S. Central Command, CENTCOM, has said it completed a wave of what it called self-defense strikes targeting military, surveillance, radar sites in southern Iran. Tehran responded, meanwhile, with a round of strikes targeting U.S. military assets across the region in Bahrain, Kuwait, Jordan. But then where do things really stand right now? Amid these heated developments on the ground, what's happening behind the scenes? Donald Trump told Fox News that a much bigger and a more powerful strike will be conducted tonight. Donald Trump has also reportedly said Washington remains in contact with Tehran and mentioned that his preferred course of action would be to take control of Iran's Karg Island. That's also what he said reportedly. In an interview with Fox News, Trump also said he was not sure the United States had the appetite for such a move. So a string of statements have been given out reportedly. Earlier in the day, a Reuters report said efforts to reach an interim deal to end the hostilities between Iran and the US have intensified, citing Iranian and Western sources despite the strikes launched by both sides. According to the Reuters report, the warring parties are reportedly discussing how to release the frozen Iranian funds. Citing sources, the report said Iran and America were still exchanging messages over details of an MOU amid the ongoing confrontation between the two sides. So then where do things go from here onwards? Each passing hour coming with fresh uncertainty. This crisis, after all, that seems to have no end, a perma crisis, has already had far-reaching implications and dangerous consequences. As US President Donald Trump prepares to host a mixed martial arts fight at the White House on the 14th of June to mark his birthday, his plan has hit an unexpected roadblock. A Vietnam War veteran and an activist has moved the court seeking a stay on this event. Just for context here, the Ultimate Fighting Championship, or UFC, organizing that event. It's a leading US-based mixed martial arts organization. It basically blends disciplines like boxing, kickboxing, wrestling. During the UFC Freedom 250 event, 7 bouts involving 8 Americans and 6 others from 4 countries will be taking place inside an octagon-shaped cage. This cage is being erected by crews on the south lawn of the White House. It will feature a red, white, and blue stage under a towering arch featuring stars and stripes patterns. While nearly 4,300 people will be watching the action live on the South Lawn, reportedly over 75,000 others are likely to follow the bouts on large screens at the nearby 52-acre Ellipse Park. Now, what are the key arguments in that lawsuit? The petitioners reportedly accused the U.S. officials of circumventing federal rules to allow a private event on government property. They argued that an approval from the U.S. Congress was necessary to construct any structure on public land. Additionally, the lawsuit also claiming that no environmental review was undertaken. However, the Trump administration dismissed the need for congressional nod for temporary structures on the White House grounds. It also informed the court that the cage will be dismantled starting next Monday, highlighting that the White House South Lawn has a history of hosting public events. It added that no one was forcing the petitioners to watch this event against their will. Meanwhile, only U.S. troops who meet the military body composition standards will be given free tickets for this event, reportedly. And as per reports, preference will be given to junior officers who are genuine UFC fans, reportedly. That's not all. The military personnel who are selected will need to pay for their journey to Washington, D.C. and wear their short-sleeved dress uniform. The public opinion, though, does not paint a very flattering picture for Donald Trump. As per the latest Reuters Ipsos poll, which surveyed 4,531 adults in the U.S., only 16% of Americans approved holding a UFC event on the White House lawn, whereas 46% deemed it inappropriate, 46%. Similarly, only 1/3 of Republicans backed Donald Trump's plan. Before the lawsuit was filed, the U.S. president compared the cage structure to France's iconic Eiffel Tower, also hinted that it may never be dismantled.
You know, we're building something in front of the White House that's quite attractive to a lot of people. It's going to have the big UFC fight on June 14th, and I'm looking at it and maybe we'll never, ever take it down.
And with criticism escalating over the fact that more than $60 million reportedly is being spent on this event, the U.S. District Court's next course of action will be closely watched. Across prominent fast food chains globally, a new type of non-alcoholic drink is increasingly gaining traction. The caveat being It seems to be anything but healthy, and doctors are terming it a metabolic disaster, reportedly. It's known by different brand names. It's also commonly referred to as dirty soda, reportedly. It's basically a mixture of soft drinks, flavored syrups, creamers. It gained popularity in America's Utah as early as 2010, as many members of the local church abstained from coffee and alcohol. A demand was created for customizable, non-alcoholic drinks. However, its sugar content will surprise you. As per reports, a single drink of what's called dirty soda comprises 55 to 70 grams of sugar. This comes even as the WHO has recommended that the daily sugar intake for a healthy person should not exceed 50 grams. It also advises that limiting sugar consumption to 5% of one's daily energy intake may provide additional health benefits. So consuming dirty soda causes sharp blood spike and crash, reportedly, which in turn drives hunger, fatigue, higher insulin demand. It's especially harmful for those who are pre-diabetic. According to doctors, regular consumption of dirty soda can increase the risk of ailments like obesity, diabetes, heart disease, dementia, and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Now, the risks associated with high blood sugar cannot be understated. As per a Lancet study published in April this year, non-fatty liver disease in India surged by nearly 23% from 1990 to 2023. As per the findings, this spike was largely driven by metabolic risk factors like high blood sugar and obesity. In fact, there is a growing clamor for lifestyle changes as well, which may help us lead a healthier life. Germany has reportedly approved the world's first cannabis-derived medicine, specifically designed to treat chronic pain. A move that experts say could potentially offer an alternative to millions of patients who rely on powerful opioid drugs. Germany's Federal Institute for Drugs and Medical Devices reportedly granted marketing approval in late May. An oral concentrated liquid extract derived from cannabis. The approval reportedly marking a major milestone for medical marijuana, moving it beyond symptom management and into the mainstream treatment of chronic pain, reportedly. And the development comes as chronic pain affects an estimated 1 in 5 adults worldwide. According to the World Health Organization, 60 million people use opioids globally. Opioids remain effective for many sufferers. They remain effective for many sufferers, but they also carry a well-documented risk of dependence and addiction. And clinical trials reportedly conducted in Europe last year found that this drug delivers better pain relief than both opioids and a placebo. Researchers saying the findings could open the door to new treatment options for patients who need long-term pain management. However, experts also reportedly caution that cannabis-based medicines are not without risks. Patients can reportedly experience side effects, including dizziness, fatigue, impaired concentration, drowsiness. Researchers also saying more long-term data is needed to fully understand the impact of sustained cannabis-based treatment, particularly among elderly patients and those with a history of mental health disorders. While the drug may reduce reliance on opioids, doctors reportedly stress that it's not a risk-free alternative. The search for alternatives has reportedly become increasingly urgent. According to a recent WHO report, around 25% of drug use deaths were caused by opioid overdose. So could Germany's approval of the cannabis-derived medicine signal a new chapter as far as pain, medicine and management is concerned?